back to the channel, guys. It's George. This is Malaka Motorsports, and we are at Iros Motorsport today for a very special reason. I'd say numerous special reasons, only because we're going to be here picking up the silver piggy. We're going to be taking a couple look at the other cars here, harassing some of the employees here that are making fun of VR6s, and we're going to have some fun, guys. There's some cool stuff that we're going to check out. To give you guys an update, Silver Pig is right outside. We're about to take it for his first test drive as soon as we refuel. Back in July of 2019, we dropped off the car here for a full build. Supposed to only be a bottom end build. Very simple. Let's just say I delayed the build only because I kept upgrading with Hank as he started developing new parts. So from just the basic bottom end, we started doing full head, tool steel updates on the head. For the studs, we ended up going with Cyvex, Unitronic on the trans, and there's a reason why we switched, guys. A lot of videos coming for this car, a lot of updates, a lot of information. So I'm gonna try to keep this video as brief as possible, and then we'll go into detail about all the little stuff that has changed on our Silver Piggy. I'm really excited, guys, about going into detail about that. But today, without further ado, let's get in the RS3, let's go for a drive. I've never been in a built motor RS3, let alone now an IMS1000. As you guys know, I've been running the IMS850 for the last 2 years. We decided to go with the IMS1000 on the car, along with Cyvex, along with Unitronic's TCU and the transmission and a bunch of other goodies we're going to mention here shortly, guys. It's Valentine's Day. Hope everyone's doing well. I'm about to have some fun. We got a lot of videos coming for this car, guys. Let's have some fun. All right, bud, let's see this mustache. Let's see it. So this is the famed level 10 mustache. And then what are we giving Hank?
This is like a 4. I thought it was a 6 last night, but then I came in and saw that, and now I'm feeling like it's like a 3 plus.
So what are we getting out of 10? Either Hank's mustache.
If this is like stage 3, that's like IMS 1100.
So what is that? Full pops and bangs? What is that? What is it? What level? What are we doing?
Definitely not pops and bangs.
If you guys are gonna vote in the comments who had the better mustache, it's either Hank or it's gonna be big man Josh over here. He's calling his level 10, and then he says Hank is nowhere near level 10. He's like level 2.5, stage 3. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, guys, because this mustache, I mean, I haven't put a scale to it, but I'll just start there, and it just doesn't end. It just keeps going down. So Hank, what are we doing today, my man? What's up?
All right, so got the Silver Pig pretty sorted out, so we're gonna grab some fuel in it. So your car has a single pump in it, single brushless. So
correct.
There's only so much we can do with that. So things we can do to help the fuel system out is we can make sure it's, you know, E70, a little lower content will give us a little more volume.
So do me a favor, Hank. I know you kind of teased it earlier in the year, maybe even before in 2019. You guys are working on a new brushless controller so people can only run a single pump. Can you tell us a little bit more about it, maybe very briefly?
Yeah. So we're running that ID controller in my blue car, and it's basically just it's a brushless fuel pump controller, and it's also a voltage booster. So, you know, what it ends up doing is it's able to control that E5LM pump that we use in all of our brushless systems. It's able to control that pump and basically bump the voltage up to, you know, a maximum of 26 volts. You know, Tony and those guys over at T1, they've got 1700 wheel horsepower cars being fed by one single pump that's in your car currently. So they're not quite available yet for the masses, and we're gonna try to get a hold of one, maybe a pre-release one for your car like mine has, so that we can do a little bit more development, and then also make it to where you don't have to do a big fuel system. You can just simply put a controller in.
So instead of having 2 pumps, it's a single pump at all. The controller would be able to handle it. And you'd say, with the current pump in there now, how much power realistically are you expecting now someone being able to make now?
Yeah, so those pumps, they start to wean out around 800 wheel horsepower. You know, you can do some stuff to kind of cheat that. One of the things that we've done in the past is, you know, you want to keep your octane high. So you end up mixing in like a petroleum-based fuel, like a C16 or something like that. You can mix it down to say E60 or E50 and get 20 to 30% more, you know, 20% more volume there by mixing it down, and still have the high octane of an E100 or something like that. So there's some things we can do to cheat the system in the interim, but it's definitely not going to be able to make 1,000 horsepower until we get more fuel into the system.
So if you guys know, I went from the IMS 850, where I've been running for the last 2 years, now with the IMS 1000, along with Cyvex, along with Unitronic, which we'll talk about a little bit more on the ride along. Guys, welcome back to the channel. The Silver Piggy is back, and we're just getting started, guys. A lot of videos to update. Hank's got a lot of stuff in the work with his group here, and really excited about the race season for 2020. So stick around. Let's go for a drive. All right, so this is going to be the first start. Let's recap everything for Hank. This is Hank from Audi Rs3. If you guys know, I was one of the first customers to get a big turbo kit with the Rs3 in early 2018, and the car blew away the industry and the scene with how fast it goes. Hank's customers and himself own the world records now in terms of quarter mile, half mile. If you want to argue trap, we can go there and argue trap too, and then ET. But today, guys, I am actually here picking up fully built Rs3. IMS 1000 and some major upgrades we have to the transmission now with Unitronic's TCU, the ECU with Cyvex, and a lot of other upgrades we're going to chat along this ride along. So guys, this is going to be my first drive. Keep in mind, I've never ridden in Hank's car fully built or anything crazy. My Rs3 is the fastest Rs3 that I've ridden in. And just to recap, we were making 500 wheel torque, 520 maybe on the top end, 680 to 700 wheel horsepower, and now we're going to fully built from an IMS 850 to the 1000 kit, and now on a standalone on this car, so we're not even rocking the stock ECU. So Hank, I'm gonna start this bad boy up. Is there anything special that I got to do, or everything just starts up stock?
Yeah, it starts up stock. I think this is the first time you haven't had any check engine lights or warning lights. Peel the tape back.
Yeah, I used to. We'll get a shot of it. So I had black. This is an old school Volkswagen Audi, just black electrical tape that was on the dashboard to kind of cover some of the errors and things that would pop up on the dashboard. But I'm really excited. Let's start this bad boy up.
Okay, so your maps are as before. So one's probably your daily map. It's like 30 psi, and then map 3 is going to be pretty much all that you have for the fuel system that you have.
Got it. And
then 8's logging. So
we have the beeping now due to the rear brakes being upgraded to the new super brakes and having to be calibrated. We have the other beeps because I don't have the TPMS sensors into the tires because I have the R888s on there, and I normally use them for half mile. So I'm not running any of the tire pressure sensors, nor am I running a calibrated rear, so you guys will hear that beep up. But I mean, it starts and it's idling, and this is, all right, this is, here, we'll put the AC on.
It's warm in Vegas today.
So let's go for a first drive. So should I double check on which map I'm going to be in?
Yeah, it's always defaults 1. So you start off with a daily map.
Forward?
Just up on the stock. So up on the cruise control. Yes, like, yep, there you go.
So which one should I put it in?
Yeah, go ahead and put in 3.
And 3 would normally be which map?
So that's going to be what we're going to have you be, just aggressive street driving.
Okay.
So 4 would be your quarter mile, 5 would be your half mile, and then 8's just logging channel. Totally two's that pops and bangs. We don't ever use 2 around these parts.
So listen, if you like pops, if you like pops and bangs, no offense to you, it's just something that I absolutely hate. And they included a pops and bangs map in the Cyvex setup. I think it's like map 4 or 5 or something like that.
Map 2. Map 2.
Is it map 2?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have Nick remove that. I will never need it, but a lot of people do like it, and it's kind of cool even with Cyvex. If you wanted to kind of retain the pops and bangs, you're able to have it. All right, but first, so we're just cruising now out of the Audi Motorsport parking lot. And the shifts are pretty smooth, even with the low RPM.
Yeah, or manual.
Yeah.
Kick it around with it, get to the on-ramp just and drive.
Okay, so just want to leave it like I'm just cruising maybe in traffic.
This is like...
technical error.
we haven't filmed for a while.
I'm a little rusty. All right, you guys are back. I'm sorry. Let's spin that around. We'll leave that in there. That was good. That was a test, guys, just to make sure that it was able to take it. But all right, take a left.
Go straight. Straight. So this is like if you're you know, lend the car to like your delinquent brother or something like that, or significant other.
Got it.
Like this is just how the car is daily driving. It's pretty wild just how a 1,000 horsepower car with really aggressive clutches can drive this smooth.
Yeah, it almost feels like a stock turbo car just kind of cruising along. And as I'm giving at gas, it's not really bogging. It's still moving. And now it's in D4 cruising. You know, it's really funny too. When I had the custom code TCU, a lot of the gears would either get stuck, it would bog all the way up to 7, and this is upshifting and downshifting without me having to force it into sport, which is pretty badass.
Yeah, so if you feel like it's in too low of a gear, you just give it more pedal, and the pedal position, it will kick it down a gear just like it's supposed to be doing. So here, watch the speed bump.
Yeah, and then the shifts are pretty crisp too for drive. Usually before it would hang, yeah, before it would lazy, but now it's...
So let it get in like 4, like it was before, because it's going to try to give you your best economy, right? But just be like that and pretend like you just want to get on it a little bit. It'll downshift like it's supposed to.
Oh yeah, no shit, it goes down to D2.
Yeah. So, and it'll go down to D3 if it's like a 50% throttle. It'll do it like it's supposed to be doing.
That is awesome. So if I wanted to, I could go grocery shopping, I can go to the store.
If you're just being lazy in traffic, this thing's super drivable.
Make a left?
Yep.
All right.
Go ahead and slam it over into manual and then.
Yeah, I'm not even getting on it, just light shifting. But that's not why you guys are here, right? You guys want me to get on it. Aggressive street file?
Yeah.
Fuck. Oh my god. All right, we're gonna slow down. We broke 35 miles an hour there, and I gotta.
Okay, so you're going right here on the 215.
Yeah. It almost felt like the tires are trying to break loose a little. I got out of the throttle.
So I mean, this motor and this turbo, it's free to spin it all the way to 8,000 RPM. I know you're just getting used to it, but you know, definitely makes its power up top.
Yeah, and it still spools like it's the 850 kit, which is pretty cool. And then now we've gone with the built head, so it's spooling like as if it's a smaller turbo now.
Yeah, it feels a lot like the 850s.
Yeah, it does. But up top, it just started. I mean, we broke 38 pounds of boost up top. Wow, that's amazing. Let's see if I downshift, go to 4th.
So go to one more gear down to 3rd.
Go to 3rd? All right. And that was pretty shifted. It didn't hang at all. It just kind of caught it.
Yep.
Oh, shit. Oh, my God. Whoa. Oh, man. And you know what the cool thing is, too? You know, Hank, you were telling me over the phone when you were kind of like saying, hey, let's go with the 1000 kit. The turbo, there's still left a lot because I don't. Yeah, because now I'm running on the single pump, and we're not really pushing this turbo. So we're running up to 38, 39 psi now. Theoretically, if someone wanted to go full nuts and make crazy amount of power, what kind of psi are we looking at if somebody wanted to run this?
Yeah, these will do 44, 45 pounds of boost up top. So it's probably, my guess, they'll probably make around 800 wheel horsepower the Dyna today.
800 wheel, and we made on kill 680, 700, and about 5 and change wheel torque. And here's the real question, Hank, which we get all the time. What kind of wheel torque is this setup looking to make now versus what we were doing before?
Yeah, I bet this today makes 650, 675, something like that.
Oh my God. And just to let you guys know, we got the aftermarket TCT clutches that are provided by Rs Motorsport. There's the same clutches that Hank's running on his car. And Hank, if there's someone watching this channel and they don't know, how fast is your Rs3 currently now in the quarter mile?
So it's gone 8.4 at 169. So it's getting there. We'll go a little bit faster here in the next few weeks.
And then what kind of power are you pushing roughly?
You know, I don't really know because the dyno stops. My dyno won't hold it. So I know that it makes right at 1070 without nitrous, and I know that the amount of nitrous. My guess is it's probably right around 1200 wheel horsepower is what I'm guessing.
So you've gone 8.4 with about 1,000 horsepower.
8.4. I've got 8.4 with about 1150 wheel.
With air conditioning still bolted to the car, everything's still working.
Carpet in, door cards, both front seats. Yeah.
All right, and I want to talk about something else too. So we did something else now to the drivetrain other than clutches. I opted to go with your upgraded axle package. Can you talk about that for a second?
Yeah, absolutely. So we send these axles out, and we have them upgraded with some bigger CVs and both inner and outer. set of these axles yet on my car, so they're pretty robust axles, especially on a tire like this R888. You're gonna want to get off right here, where you get wheel hop sometimes, and you're gonna want to get into the left lane so you can get off the freeway.
Oh, that spools right away.
Yeah, I mean you're not even above 4,000 RPM there, and you can pass through traffic pretty easily. I think people really get lost in the 1,000 horsepower is not daily drivable, and this car is, in my opinion, still a very streetable car.
Yeah, I mean, I won't lie to you. I mean, other than obviously this thing rockets to hell now, this thing drives just like I had either the Stage 2 setup that we had with you, and then we went with the 850 kit. I mean, it almost picks up faster now, other than the 850, but I imagine that's because of the built motor, the built head, a lot more flow. And then Hank, if you can, we talked about it in another video, but if you can kind of remind everyone this cylinder head that you offer, the benefits of it.
Yeah, so, the cylinder head's just basically 2.5 years worth of learning, how the things spool, what kind of exhaust flow we need, what kind of intake flow we need. Straight.
Okay.
Also looking at other stuff like quench lands, and looking at, these cylinders heads have like a little bit of a tendency to crack to the spark plug, so that plays into how big of valves we want to put in them. And we basically just, this is the pinnacle of the technology that we've learned so far with this Daza head of what works the best, what keeps engines together the longest.
So why would you recommend the built head versus a stock head if someone was looking to go with an 850 or 1,000 kit? And what are the benefits? Like, what do you think is the biggest kicker about doing the head and the biggest overall edge that someone would have in their setup?
Well, there's a few reasons. I mean, I've never been super...
You son of a bitch! You wrote down a V6. Oh my god! I'll show you guys a little screenshot. So I just looked in my right mirror now, and they put a little post-it saying "not a V6." You guys suck. All right, I'm sorry to interrupt. Hank, I apologize. We were talking about you. Wow, that sucks, man. That's.
All right, you're gonna go right here at the stop sign.
Okay. Did you do that, or did Jeff do that?
I'm not sure
Josh?
Who did that. Yeah. I've never been super confident in the OEM sodium-filled exhaust valve, so that's one of the big reasons when we start spinning them to 8,200 RPM or 8,500. We just want to make sure that we're not dropping valves. That's a super expensive mistake. So a lot of the times we're upgrading valve train just to make sure, like a preventative maintenance type deal. But you get other benefits. I mean, obviously the turbos spool a lot quicker. You can make more power on less boost pressure. That's a big one. There's a lot of added benefits of a ported cylinder head to justify the cost for sure. We're starting to feel like, that 800 horsepower is kind of that tipping point where we started recommending, built heads for people.
Got it. And I don't want to change the subject quick, but I put it over to sport, and the cool thing is it's holding now fourth. So even if I let go of the throttle, it's still holding S4, which before it would kind of like freak the hell out. So Unitronic now has really sorted this transmission. My biggest gripe, guys, and again, we went fast with custom code. It worked for the era, but the development just wasn't there. So I'm telling you now, like, just driving the car, and that was one of the biggest headaches with dailying this car with the 850, going drag racing all the time, is, I mean, I could drive it, but it wasn't that enjoyable. Like, it would jump up and down with gears. The car was really set up for the track. And this thing is downshifting as it should, downshifting as if I'm just driving it normally. And the idle, let's see where the idle's at. What is that, 900?
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing with I don't want to throw shade at custom code too bad, because I mean they did what they were able to do with. Yeah. I mean, they were the first ones playing with it, but one of the things that they did to get more clutch pressure on that is they cheated the torque model. So they were basically lying to the TCU of how much torque they were requesting.
Got it.
As a way to try to get more clutch pressure. And for drag racing, it worked. It made it to where you could get down the track faster, but it made for a fairly miserable daily driver.
Yeah, it was a little bit rough daily driving.
And so the cars were really fast, but what this has done is it's basically just, we still have that clutch pressure now. It's reported accurately to the TCU. SIVX is able to control what it's telling the TCU for clutch pressures, and you get a really smooth daily driver type feel, an OEM quality drive. And I'm really pumped on the SIVX right now. It's come a long ways in the last 6-7 months of development, and these cars drive really, really nice now. Like, that's one of the features that was really interesting to me is, you know, if you just let go of the brake right now, it'll creep forward like an OEM car.
Yeah, it doesn't lunge forward like it did before.
Right, it just creeps forward like it's supposed to do, and that's a lot of work on our part with Syvex, trying to get it to, you know, increase the throttle to get it to just creep forward, so you're not having to, you know, stab the gas pedal and stab the brake pedal to get it to, you know, get in line at the bank or at the gas station.
Well, even reversing out was a struggle too, because reverse, it would bog out almost before. Now it's...
Yeah, and again, I don't want to throw too much shade, because I mean, what they were able to do with a brand new car is pretty incredible, but we definitely have, we've definitely come a long ways from there.
Yeah, definitely. And guys, and again, so no one misunderstands, we're not throwing shade at anybody here, guys, but giving you guys the express and the exact differences now, it's night and day. I'm driving around in a IMS1000 fully built car, and I feel like I'm driving a stage 2 car. I feel like I could drive this every day. Obviously, it's allowed. It's an aggressive setup, right? But you don't feel like it's a huge effort, even though it's a DSG car. By no means are we trying to throw shade at anybody, but you know, then we went fast, and they did a hell of a job, and it worked well. But there's something better out now, and it's something tailored to someone who can't flash back and forth, even though you have the ability to upgrade whatever software you want, and you can flash at home with Unitronic. I have one file now for racing. I don't have to flash quarter-mile file, half-mile file for the trans and the engine. Now I just have one for the transmission, and it does it all.
Yeah, I mean, that's the reality of it. I mean, the custom code days were tons of good memories. You know, it was incredible what we were able to do. Made a lot of friends, all that.
Yeah.
But we definitely were just kind of cheating a way around limitations at the time, and figuring out how to make things happen, and, you know, how to sacrifice drivability for speed and speed for drivability. And, you know, what we have now is just a much more polished package, and much more, you know, you don't have to break out cables ever. You should never have to flash this car ever.
Yeah, it's not something that I dreaded, but now having this total package, I kind of like not having the idea, shit, I need to have Wi-Fi, I need to flash it, I need to have this and that.
It's just a good package now. It's something that we've worked really hard on to be able to give to people, and the other thing is that we're learning constantly every single day. We're making the packages better and better and better every single day.
Well, let me ask you a question now. So we're going to do a full video and a review on Syvex. Obviously, I don't want to sound too biased right away getting into the car and not really having that many miles with this setup. But in your words, Hank, since you've been now drag racing on your setup, and you've had this Syvex setup, you initially developed it from day one with these guys. What are your thoughts on it? Advantages, what you guys have been able to do, and then your recent now in the past 5 months, what your advancements are now with the Syvex.
I mean, the Syvex is immense. It's a huge ECU. There's a lot of stuff that we haven't even touched yet that we're learning about. You know, just ways to make drivability better, launch better.
Haven't even touched yet, and you're going 8.4 at the quarter mile.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very expansive ECU. There's just a lot of stuff in it. So I mean, we're by no means experts at it at this point. I think we're probably one of the better people with Syvex at the moment, especially in the country. But you know, we're learning just like everybody else is, just like stock ECU guys are doing right now as well. So yeah, the big advantage is it just has really good logging, has really good ability over all the modules.
Let me ask you a question, Hank. So now, and I'll show you guys a video clip. I'm looking at the dashboard. Everything is working like stock.
Works.
So in my B5, we'll talk about the B5 really cringe for a second. You know, we have the digital race display, but it's not stock. It's race car, it's aftermarket. This is the digital display that Audi provided with the car. How are you guys able to do it now where it operates like a factory car now?
Yeah, so I mean, that's what Syvex is really good at. They're really good about the CAN integration. So the CAN bus that controls like the central convenience module, they're experts at figuring out how to make everything happy, how to make everything integrate well. They're actually coming out with a Haldex controller that's going to be really, really neat. That's all CAN based, so it's not hijacking like some of it's not tricking or just doing a different pulse width to the controller. It's actually sending its own CAN message over the CAN network to be able to control the Haldex. So
Cyvex is really good about integration, so everything works. Cruise control, everything works.
Well, it looks like it's working. So let me explain it to me, because I don't know, and that's why I'm asking. Maybe someone out there might not know either. So Cyvex is now communicating with Unitronic on the transmission.
It is.
And they're working in harmony?
Yeah, so basically what's happening, and it's like this on the stock controller as well, and the stock ECU is, you know, you have a, you know, the ECU has to give some sort of torque value to the TCU, the Mechatronic. It has to say, okay, this is my pedal position, this is my torque output, this is my RPM, this is what I want you to do for clutch pressure, this is what I want you to do for, you know, making sure the car leaves how it's supposed to leave from stay left. So that was happening on the stock ECU as well. And what Cyvex is doing is you're just able to manipulate, you know, what that torque output is, how accurately it's recorded. And you're looking at stuff like volumetric efficiency and drivetrain losses and frictional losses at the clutches and fluid losses. You're using all these metrics to be able to come up with a final torque output that you're giving the TCU so the car drives properly.
So let me ask you a question, Hank. So let's flip it now and ask a reverse question. So I'm relatively close to you. I'm just a few hours away in California. I can drive here if I want to and get support. How easy it is to support the Cyvex and the Unitronic TCU stuff, even remotely, to some customers, let's say maybe in straight maybe in, let's say, New Jersey, New York, across the country, maybe even outside the country. Have you guys been able to support that?
Yeah, very easily. I mean,